One of the key pillars of shonen anime, besides a cool magic system and a palpable sense of secondhand embarrassment at the fact that you're watching anime, is a lovable main cast. Since a lot of anime is just wish fulfillment, i.e. Naruto being a stupid loser who sucks at school and gets bullied a lot, actually being the greatest ninja ever with a big old demon inside of him, don't mess with him. So anyways, that was a stupid way to lead into the fact that today we'll be discussing some of the best and worst anime friend groups.
Pink, 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 girls, 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 glitter, 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 twirls, 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 together forever, we're Linda and Heather, best friends!
Since I brought up Naruto already, let's talk about Team 7 as a baseline for anime friend groups. Yeah, they pretty much suck. The biggest thing holding this group together is a somehow both vague and heavy-handed notion of destiny, and some romantic tension. But I mean, let's be real, the biggest problem in this group is Sasuke, but he is an Uchiha, so he can't help but suck. They do have some good moments, like the first test Kakashi puts them through. They also give each other a little kiss on occasion, so good for them. So I know I said that this video is about anime, but now we're going to be getting into some hot dog sandwich territory with the first group we will be discussing, because it's anime adjacent media, like Dog with a Blog. We'll be discussing the best friend group in any anime or soft anime, the Teen Titans. I'm just getting them out of the way now, because if you grew up in the early to mid 2000s and never wished that you lived in Titan's Tower, you are a liar. The Titans get through thick and thin together and are always watching each other's back, even going through such horrors as having to fight a physical embodiment of the UK. One of the best things about the Teen Titans is their portrayal of at least somewhat accurate teens. Like, they don't butt chug $4 bottles of vodka, but they do all dress up in Robin's stuff while he's gone just because they know that he wouldn't want them to. So yeah, there are no, like, pregnancy scares, but it's good PG teenager hijinks. Speaking of found families made up of superpowered teens being led by an unpowered fuckboy teen with an undercut, Avatar. Avatar: The Last Airbender has a beautiful story of a found family across different nations during a war, all coming together from a shared destiny, but also staying together due to their pure, undying love for each other as friends. But it also has one of those weird, toxic friendships that only occur, like, due to circumstance and frankly not having better options. The gang is, in my opinion, such an incredibly well-written and well-realized found family, and we also have them arriving on Netflix at the beginning of quarantine to thank for the more mainstream appreciation of anime and manga that we're now in. For anyone who hasn't seen Avatar, water, earth, fire, air, 4 nations were happy, Fire Nation fucked it up, Avatar dipped. Then Sokka and Katara found Aang 100 years after he took a cryo dip, and now they're on a quest to curb stomp the Fire Lord. Along the way they find Toph, a blind earthbender, who just so happens to be the greatest earthbender on Earth. They even end up adopting the primary antagonist of Season 1, Prince Zuko of the Fire Nation. It's no mistake that by the end of the series, the gang is made up of members from each of the 4 nations, and they have a very realistically loving support of one another. But they also have realistic issues and disagreements for the times that they're in and the lives that they have led. I think that the best example of a realistic conflict in this group is when Zuko's welcomed into the gang by all but Katara. Katara and Sokka's mother was murdered by a Fire Nation soldier, and Katara holds a deep resentment towards all of the Fire Nation due to this, even projecting this rage onto Zuko. So Zuko helps Katara identify who the assailant may have been, and says,
"Hey, do you want me to kill that guy for you? 'Cause it sounds like he sucks, and I will totally kill that guy for you."
This is a perfectly realistic and sort of inevitable fight for these two to have, since Katara has always held on to the rage and sadness of her mother's sudden passing, and Zuko is okay with murdering people who deserve it. And he's also now left the Fire Nation full of the only people that even sort of supported him, and before that, betrayed his loving uncle. So he really needs these people to accept him. What is even more realistic and shows how well the writers understand these characters and how they interact is when Sokka opposes this idea and Katara says, "Well then I guess you didn't love her like I did." Obviously, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for them all the time, but they obviously love each other. They would die for each other, and on many occasions nearly do, given that they're fighting a war together. And they are so perfectly contrasted by the other side of that war, the Fire Nation kids. The Fire Nation kids are such a hilariously terrible friend group, but it's also so realistic. The Fire Nation kids are made up of the Fire Prince and Princess, a goth assassin, and a friendly assassin. They have such a realistically written vibe of friends who are only friends because of circumstance and because of there not being better options for them. Azula is the most toxic of all of them, being a manipulative power grabber, but it's not like the rest of them are nice to each other. The biggest example of this is The Beach, a fan favorite episode. It shows the villains just kinda hanging out. They hang out at the beach, they play volleyball, and they go to a party. But the real meat of this episode comes at the end when they all sit around a fire together. This scene is already great for the revelations about Zuko's mental state, which I actually do want to talk about in a video coming up, but today we are not talking about that. But what's really great about this scene for today is how they all just immediately tear into each other. Zuko mocks Ty Lee for being happy, and May does the same and calls out her attention issues. And then Azula says that all of their sadness and pain is performative. While the gang and the Fire Nation kids both have disagreements and their own ugly moments, for the gang, those are low points. They are not normal. For the Fire Nation kids, that is just another Tuesday. One of the oddest friend situations in any anime going on right now, I think, is My Hero Academia. My Hero is definitely my most talked about franchise, and that is not going to change. But I think that one of its most major flaws is a lack of a real identifiable trio like in most anime. Now, the supporting cast is still amazing. In fact, I think that there are many supporting characters who are better written than Deku. But I'm talking about there not being a clear, small main group. In Jujutsu Kaisen, probably the most promising new show on the scene right now, you've got Itadori, Megumi, and Nobara. There's no question that they're the main three, but that doesn't mean that the side characters suffer. Jujutsu Kaisen has some of the best written characters in the genre today, and a lot of them are not even in the main trio. But in My Hero Academia, what is supposed to be the main trio is a little vague. I think whether you watch or read My Hero, early on it's very clear that the main trio is supposed to be Deku, Uraraka, and Ida. But then it turned out that nearly anyone's favorite character is either Todoroki, Bakugo, or Deku, even having that trio be pretty much the whole marketing strategy behind the latest film. Anyways, that was my little rant on the My Hero cast, but speaking of very weird friendships.
Which is it?
We catch Kidda! I would never dream about living in a world without light.
Yes, that would be dark.
Death Note has the weirdest main three trio in any anime ever, and I will not be taking suggestions or criticisms on that fact. So there's going to be spoilers for Death Note in this. I don't usually point out spoilers for stuff that's been out for like a year plus, but Death Note is a crime thriller, so let's take a look at this friend group at their best. At their best, these people are so weird. In Death Note, Light Yagami and Misa Amani are both murdering people with a supernatural book known as the Death Note, under the shared alias of Kira. The best detective in the world, this little goblin man, L, is trying to identify and apprehend them. Then through weird goth shenanigans, Light and Misa forget about them doing the killings, and are now trying to help L apprehend the new person using the Death Note. The first red flag about this friend group is that they are all the weird alternative friend. The second red flag is that L and Light are literally handcuffed together, but Misa wants to fuck Light more than Light wants to become God. Like, picture these people trying to, like, go bowling together or something. Like, Light would be weirdly good at bowling, and that would make Misa way hornier than bowling should make anyone ever. and L would be in the corner eating cake with his toes out, and he would be wondering if Kira would be good at bowling, and if that means Light is more likely to or is less likely to be Kira. For some friend group honorable mentions, I'm not finished with Fire Force, but Company 8 is very cute, if not a little too horny. Haikyuu is also really cute, but I didn't have any jokes to say because I haven't watched it in a while because the dub just fucking disappeared from the face of the planet. If you know where it is, please tell me. I miss my fruity little volleyball boys. I also just started Hunter x Hunter recently. I just got to season 2. Gon and Killua have the cutest friendship, with Leorio and Kurapika having a weirdly nice one. Yeah, that was the video. Hey all! Once again, I opted for putting on a jacket for this end segment. Thank you so much for watching that video. As always, there will be another one next week. I think the one next week is gonna be like, not as serious as the Lemillion one I just did. I hope you checked that out, by the way. If you didn't, the link is somewhere. I'm sure you can find it. You're very smart. You're doing really great today. Good job, buddy. But yeah, it won't be that dark, but it's not gonna be as like outwardly comedic either, I don't think. But yeah, let's see what's going on lately. The sequel to the book is coming along great. Yeah, that's going really well. I'm working on the cover for it right now. My artist is doing that. I'm not gonna dox them right now though. So, but you know who you are watching this, and thank you so much for doing that. I'm sure it's gonna turn out even better than this one that you did, which is also amazing. So, thank you. Yeah, well, I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.